In the spring of 2017, I went snowmobiling with my buddy Matt and rolled my snowmobile down this mountain. The only thing that happened is I lost the key. In July, I went for a hike and accidentally slipped down the same chute through this boulder patch. Had to have Lifeline carry me out and sustained multiple injuries, the worst of which was a mostly amputated right leg. They did an external fixation, removed that and did internal fixation, put in a bunch of plates and screws. They put me in a cast for a couple weeks, and then I even got a walking boot for a couple weeks and was able to drive the motorcycle. But infection took over and ended up losing the leg. All this is while my wife is pregnant with our baby boy. We are the Hunters, and this is our journey.
Hey guys, I just wanted to record a quick video while Amy is gone. When she's around, I get a little emotional about it, so I'm trying to avoid that by doing this while she's gone. It's amazing, the outpouring of affection and love from our friends and family and those who are supporting us in this. What I find really amazing is the strangers who have emailed us saying, hey, we're inspired by your story and your optimism and all of this, but I want to let you know that this was not something that was super easy going into it, and I know it's not going to be easy continuing with it, but going into this operation was by far the hardest decision I have had to make, and we as a couple have had to make. So I went in for surgery on Tuesday. This was last week, essentially, and the doctor opened up my leg and said, hey, there's visible infection, and you really have two choices. Either you try and battle through this for several months, and still only have a possibility of keeping the leg, or we amputate. Having gone through this experience, there's nothing I would have changed. I'm thankful to the doctor who, although my mostly amputated leg in the accident, he was willing and wanting to try and save it. So we did a surgical repair of it in the hopes that we'd be able to save it. And every time I met with him, he said, I'm going to talk to you about amputation every time, because we're not in the clear. So even though I still had feeling and movement in my foot, it wasn't, a psychological break when the doctor said, look, the best option is to amputate. And having him say that to me throughout the entire process is what kept me psychologically available to do it. In my own mind, I knew there was a chance. A lot of people got super excited when they'd see my leg and the progress it was making, and in the back of my head, I continued to think, I may not be able to keep this leg. So rather than having the amputation at the time of the accident and all of a sudden not having a leg, I think that would have been much more difficult to deal with mentally than having a couple of months, 2.5 months really, going through the process, doing all we could to save it, and then knowing in the back of my mind that I may not be able to keep it. And so looking back, I wouldn't change anything about the process that we went through. If anything, I think if I could choose to do it again, I would do it the same way, because that's what prepared me mentally and psychologically to be prepared for the amputation. The entire process of this amputation hasn't been easy, and although we've tried to be as optimistic as possible, we're not sugarcoating it, okay? We're not saying that, oh yeah, life is fine and dandy, because it's just not. And it was an extremely difficult decision that Amy and I had to make together. It took prayers and the support of others in it. Looking now forward, to get emotional or anything like that is just pity and sorrow for myself, and I'm over it. But looking from the surgery on Tuesday to the amputation surgery was extremely difficult. Like psychologically, thinking about what I've done with the leg sounds weird, but how many trips around the baseball field have my legs taken, you know, and let me stop and gather myself. How many times have I been able to
Arg.
Gosh dang it, I'm such an ugly crier, and so much for the whole emotional thing with Amy being gone. So, but how many times have I been able to just run down the beach, you know, and feel the sand between my toes and be able to just jump straight into the ocean and do body surfing and all that right off the beach. And so looking forward at this amputation was just, I related to an emotional toilet bowl. Like it was incredibly difficult. I'm sorry guys, I'm such an ugly crier. I apologize. So, but now looking forward, I'm trying to see it as a good challenge and something that I can overcome. And you know, it's the emails of support that a lot of people have sent me through, you know, through Facebook and friends and family, bringing us something as simple as dinner and mailing us presents for us and our baby, which, if you didn't know, we're naming our baby Maddox. And so this whole experience with Amy and the baby and the amputation, it's just been so much, and we're so grateful for all the support that we have from you guys. If you have recommendations for awesome, what I called robotic legs, explaining it to a 4-year-old, hit me up, leave a comment. We want to get people to subscribe to this. We did receive a check from I happened to purchase an accident insurance this year, and we're so extremely blessed to receive money for all the different things that have led into this, that Amy and I are going to do a donation to somebody in need in a similar circumstance that may not have good insurance or may not have you know, the financial support that they need to be able to do this. We don't know on the amount yet of the donation we're going to do, but we're hopefully going to make a significant impact in someone's life, and we're going to bring it to you. So stay with us. Sorry about the emotions, but I just wanted to be honest with you guys that life has its ups and downs, and we're not perfect. Nobody's perfect, and to try and portray it that way, I've tried not to portray it that way, but I have been extremely blessed going through all of this, and we look to pay it forward. Thank you so much.